Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, we are approaching the end of March, and with that, the change in the stamp duty thresholds, which is seeing a huge surge of buyers trying to beat that deadline. Rightmove predict that 1.15 million transactions will take place this year, and a staggering 575,000 deals are chugging through at the moment to try and beat that deadline. Solicitors are working incredibly hard to do all they can for their clients. We are doing everything we can. The biggest issue you'll have to meet that deadline will be removers. There is a finite capacity on how many removal vans are out there, and we saw that at the end of June with the stamp duty threshold that came there. So kind of if you think you want to meet it and your solicitor thinks you can do it and your estate agents, you might have to entertain the thought of hiring your own van and moving yourself, because that could be the single thing that stops you being able to meet that date. So yeah, we're moving on through, and it's given a real good upsurge to the market for the springtime. So the Rightmove house price index is out, and they are saying that, yeah, all indicators are looking good. House prices up about 1.15% in March in terms of prices they're going to market at. That's not necessarily what they achieve, which is in line with a March upturn. So historically, February and March are actually the best months to take your property to market in terms of ability to secure a buyer. Now, that's because as you move more into the spring market, it becomes a much more densely competitive landscape. So if you're launching in kind of April, May, you've got a lot more properties you're competing against. That aside, I think if your property features a really great garden or an amazing view, and the outside space is an integral part of the value of that property, then it was always better to wait, in my opinion, until that is looking its very, very best. If you have a strong town centre property with a fairly decent garden, take it to market early. I think you'll get a better chance of success. So the properties that are doing well at the moment, it's going to be a densely competitive landscape coming into the spring market. It's the biggest number of properties listed for the last decade in this spring market at the moment. So you've got to have a property that's presented really well and priced realistically. Those are the properties that will succeed in this market. And if you do those two things, you actually end up getting a better price overall, because there is a direct positive correlation between time on market and price achieved, which basically means the longer the wait, the less you get for your house or flat. So yes, good to present well. I'm always very happy to talk to people about that, with my thoughts on presenting your property well and attracting your target buyer. Certainly my latest feature in the business, great magazine. I mean, it's lovely. J.E. Bennett Law on the front there with their fabulous law company, based just down the Pantiles from us here. But I did all about attracting the London buyer and what you have to do. And presentation is definitely a biggie with them. So yeah, sellers and buyers thinking, I'm tired of waiting, let's press on, busy spring market. Let's see what the rest of it holds. Well, of course, one of the issues as well that's come out at the moment is the incredibly long times that it takes to do a deal. It takes on average 5 months at the moment to complete, which is just ridiculous. So HIPs were brought in to really try and speed up that process. But the problem was they were quite expensive. They created an extra level of red tape. And I think for many people, they felt that the average £400 cost was only worth incurring if they were really serious. So it deterred that kind of speculative seller who comes to the market and tries their hand. Well, an estate agent in London has been calling for property MOTs, which I think would be a really good idea. Basically, what traditionally happens is the onus is on the buyer's solicitor to ask all the questions, and the seller's solicitor only provides what they've been asked to provide. So at the beginning, the seller's solicitor provides the draft contracts. They have to do that to get it underway, and then they wait for the questions. And there's an absolute, I think there could be more onus on getting yourself seller prepared, because the questions that are asked are fairly standard. So, you know, if you've had a extension done, you need your building control certificate or any sort of internal structural alterations. You might have had an indemnity policy taken out when you bought your property because it had a restrictive covenant on it or a lack of planning. Your solicitor's going to ask, the other solicitor's going to ask you the building's insurance. If you had new windows put in that need a fencer, they're going to want the fencer certificate. So rather than just waiting to be asked, please provide the vent certificate, please provide the boiler certificate, the gas safe boiler certificate. I think if the seller's solicitor could put together a pack of those common things, it's going to reduce the time greatly. I think it's a great idea. Don't think it'd be very expensive. It'd be about educating sellers. They could download a simple form, check what they need, speak to their agent who would get them seller prepared, could massively speed things up. So that, I think, is a very, very good idea. Well, two lovely properties that I have brought to market to attract the London buyer. Maybe potentially they've definitely got the absolute potential too. One on Prospect Road, it's a beautiful 4-bedroom Victorian villa, really well presented. These houses are very popular. They're such a great location with good accommodation space. And yeah, high street, mainline station, Pantiles on your doorstep, and great schooling. And this one has the added advantage of having the old coach house on it, which is a 3-bay garage with a room above it with its own bathroom, so it could serve a variety of needs, and also gives lots of off-road parking. So that's on at a guide of 1.65, and slightly higher at a guide of 1.7 is this great, very, very spacious property, just under 4,000 square foot house on the Bennets, which is just off Colverdon Down, one of 3 houses that were built, stunningly spacious, light, airy, generous accommodation with the most beautiful outlook. You are in the heart of the town, but you could feel like you're in the middle of the country. So yeah, a really, really great property, and great for those grammar schools, Bennett School, and all the other great primary schools that sit around the St John's area. So if that's of interest, give us a call as well. Well, it's the spring budget next week. Let's see what it brings. I will bring you all the news as always. And until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.